Let's try this again. Okay, that's not okay. All right, so we're gonna go to the weekly on Bitcoin. So here we are, the SPIT stamp. We've made another high above last week's high. The MVT is still red, and our RSI is very high. That doesn't mean it can't stay up here. And the stochastics, once we get into a moving momentum, you should stay up here for a while. So we're also starting to expand. You're starting to see the expansion on the historical volatility right here. Volume was okay on these ones, and we are above all major moving averages. However, we are quite far below, quite far above the moving averages, and we tend to come back and test these in uptrends. I'll go back and show you what I mean by this. So here in 2017, we went up. This doesn't look like that big of a move, but it went from 1288 all the way up to 3000. So that was quite a big move for there. And then it came back and tested the 10 simple and down to the 21, back up again, down to the 21, back up again, back down to the 10 here, and then it kept going. So in my mind, looking at the technicals, we might not do it this week, but at some point we're going to come down and test these the 10 simple or the 21 on the weekly. But I also know that GBTC is loading up their bags with Bitcoin right now. And so that might be part of the reason why we might just keep pushing higher for a while. But I would be cautious here. I would not buy a lot at this level, because even on the daily, we're quite far above moving averages. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my personal opinion. We closed yesterday with a hammer candle, and then we've come down and touched the 10 simple now. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th time. But I do not, and we do have divergence present here, but we have not completed. No, because I didn't close quite below it. So we haven't set a top yet. So this could go up and things could just keep going. But there is slight, it's very slight divergence building from between this point and this point and this point and this point. We're also starting to consolidate on the volatility again. And the MVT I don't really use on the daily. We are having a very strong momentum here. So I want to show you something else besides the MVT now that we looked at that on the weekly. Look at this. So the hash ribbons have inverted here. And so historically, anytime this has happened, it's been a pretty good time to buy Bitcoin. But historically, when this has happened, it usually goes down. So it's been kind of interesting to see what's going on this time. Not always, sometimes we went sideways. But we've been going up, up, up. And so we're starting to get closer. The ribbons are starting to get closer again. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to print a buy this week, but this is something I would keep an eye on. All right, now I'm going to go down to the 12-hour. This is as low as I'm going to go. I'm seeing to myself. All right, so I'm going to take this off and put on the MACD. Okay, so the MACD looks like they might cross down here, right here, which is just a momentum indicator. So we'll have to see. We still have, how many hours do we have? We still have about 6 hours before the 12-hour closes. That's something I would keep an eye on. And then we have, let's see, do we have any divergence? We have a little bit here, but it looks like it might have already, between there and there, but it's already come down almost to the 21. So between here and here, we could, but we haven't put in a blow yet. So we can't play off that. So, yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna see how this holds up. As long as we're staying above, where's yesterday's close? We went all the way to 17.8. As long as we can stay above the red 10 simple at 18.2 and definitely above 17.8, then I'm just gonna see what happens and stay in. If we start coming back, if we start breaking below here down to 17.472, let's see what the number would be on the daily. Yeah, right here, 17.6. If we start closing below there, then I would expect us to start coming back down into the 16,000s. And then you're going to start seeing, we'll probably have a bounce here, come down here, have a bounce, and we might start building some divergences from there. But for now, there's nothing that is not in play. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens next. So let's go to Ethereum. I want to look at Ethereum and Ripple, and then we'll go to stocks. Okay, so Ethereum was in this ascending channel here. It broke up, and the measured move on that, I don't have it marked in here. I know we've exceeded it already, but let's just see what it was. So the measured move on that would have been about 534. So we're above that. So let's see what else. We're starting to expand on the daily, on the historical volatility. The RSI is getting up there, but there's no divergence present. That's fine. MACD looks good. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly, we had very low volatility here, so I had a feeling we were going to move and go up based off everything else that was going on. We also had a positive MACD cross, which this is a momentum indicator. So was this, we're headed up. So there we are. We do need to get the RSI up higher. If we put in a top here, we're going to have some divergence, but this is not a top. This is not a local top. The way you confirm a local top would be, so we're here where this was a top, then we came and closed not quite below it. This one came back up, and then we closed below. So that confirmed that as the top. Then we traded sideways and down a little bit, and then we went back up. Okay, so we would have to close below 549 and not even for a whole week. We have a whole week to play that out. All right, now let's look at XRP. USD. Okay, so this one, I started a position back here based off the low volatility and the fact that everything else was going up, and usually Ripple tends to follow. Plus the fact that on the weekly, the 21 and the 55 were crossing. And usually in the past, when that has happened on a weekly, let me just show you what has happened. So not on this one. I gotta get a older chart. Let's see. Coinbase goes back further. Nope. XRP. Well, we'll look at it on the daily because the daily has it for sure. So right here, we had that cross on the daily, and then we took off. And so in the past, on the daily, XRP is not old enough to have the weekly. Silly me, I meant the daily. Right here, we had the cross, and then we had a massive run up. So once that cross happened, we went from 19 cents all the way to 32 cents right here. So that was a pretty big rally. And then let's see. The time before that when it crossed, this one wasn't a very good cross. Nope. But this one was pretty good. When it crossed here, we went from 22 cents up to 34 cents. So that's like almost a 50% move. And we've done that already. So we had that cross here at, so over here, 25 cents, and we're already up to 49 cents. So we basically did a 100% move on that one. So this one, I'm just kind of waiting to see. I took off my position, my long position at 46 cents based on weekly resistance that was there, which I can show you. So if we go back here, we've had right here, we had some resistance right at 46 cents. So you kind of expect that based off the chart. Right about there. And we went right to it a little bit above it, and now we're kind of consolidating underneath it. So we're pretty red on the historical volatility on the weekly, which is kind of crazy how we went from super low to red very fast. So let's see. And on the daily, we're very red too, yeah. So I'm kind of expecting this to just go sideways for a bit, and then maybe we'll come into like an ascending triangle. And honestly, in the 4 hour, it kind of looks like an ascending triangle, but we'll have to see how this one plays out. Kind of can see it there. Look at the top, and then we're just making wicks up. So that would put us actually with a breakout pretty soon, probably in the next 4 to 8 hours. So probably tomorrow. And we're going up, coming down. So, but we also have the MACD that looks like it might cross down, but we won't know that. It could kiss and tell and go off to the races again. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. All right, let's go to NASDAQ. Thank you. There we go. In Q1, NASDAQ. All right, let's go check out the weekly close, which closed on Friday. So we closed right here. Looks like we're kind of making a channel, but we haven't really made a pattern yet. It's only been 2. We're just kind of starting to look like we might be consolidating a bit. We still have lost the exponential on the RSI. We have not regained that yet. Between here and here, we had bullish divergence, but that put us back up here. And now we're crossed down on the weekly over here. So I'm honestly expecting this to go back up at some point, but it might not be this week based off this. Let's see what the daily says. Let's see. It looks like we're holding the 10 simple. I need to stay above the 21, so 11,796. So if not, we're probably coming down to somewhere between 11.5 and 11.4. I would expect it to bounce there. No divergence present. MACD on the daily looks like we might be getting ready to cross down here too, but we might just go sideways within a range. All right, what else did you have? Kodiak Science. This chart's just been going straight up since Trump decided to have it make drugs. So this looks good. We're only yellow here. Let's see, we're holding the exponential. So we are making lower highs on the RSI. At some point when we see a candle close below 132.70 on the daily, then we could confirm that as a top, and we would expect that divergence to play out at least to here, 122, maybe down to 110. But the MACD looks good, the momentum oscillators look good, and this hasn't been confirmed yet, so you can't play this. It's just something to watch for. We could open tomorrow and just keep right on going. Our side could come up and just take that all out. All right, I'm just going to check out gold real quick, and then that's it for tonight. All right, gold is at 1874. We've kind of just been trading sideways and down a little bit. We do not have the exponential regained on the daily. The momentum is down. Yeah, momentum is down here too. So we're below all major moving averages, and we have the yellow 21 and green 55 cross. See what that has done in the past when that's happened. Just because I don't remember. No, not much. Just kind of went sideways for a bit before coming back up. All right. Now I want to look at this on the weekly real quick. That's just the first time. I mean, I could go back more, but I'm not going to tonight. All right, on the weekly. My back teeth. Oh, excuse me. MACD is still moving down. Weekly momentum is down. The RSI, we do not have the exponential on the RSI. Looks like we're starting to consolidate, and we closed below the 21. So I honestly am expecting this to come down into the 1700s, somewhere in this range, 1750 around the 50. Monthly is about there too, I think. I mean, we could come all the way down here, but I kind of expect it to go somewhere between 1750 and 1786 over time. And then we'll see where it goes once it gets down there. Let's also look at the US dollar. Second. Oh, my chart was changed. Yes, I know that. Let's see. All right, the dollar's coming back down. Looks like it's gonna come back down to the 290. Now it's in the monthly. That's crazy. All right, let's see what it looks like on the weekly. Yeah, weekly we're coming down, making new lows below this one. Although we did close slightly above. We're opening down. Let's see here. What's the daily look like? The daily volatility is very low. And we are about ready to take out this somewhere between here, just based off what I can see from here. Yeah, so we might bounce off this level, 92.23. And if we do, and we start turning the momentum up with this volatility, I would expect it to come back up at least to 92.75. However, if we break through below this, and I mean, the RSI does not really look that great here. We've got stochastics down on the floor, the MACD is down, and volatility is very low. So I'm not really sure what to say here because honestly, it's all kind of, we're just waiting for the next move. So I want to see what happens today, and that should clear up where we probably are going for the next week. I do know the stock markets tend to rally into holidays, but that alone is not a reason to buy. So, and if the dollar starts going down here, I would expect stocks and Bitcoin to rally. We're still coming down just a little bit. Now, if we bounce here, I would expect the opposite. But okay, well, that's all I have for today, Dad. We will pick it up tomorrow.